Good morning, everybody, and thanks for joining us today. This is the public hearing for two sets of rules that the Department of Excise and Licenses is considering for adoption. We'll be talking today about the rules governing fee waivers and rules governing transfers of ownership. We'll start with some presentation on each rule set individually. There will be time after the description of each rule set for any questions about what's been covered. And then at the end, we will have time for public comment with instructions on how to provide spoken oral comment, written comment, and mail-in comment. So welcome again. My name is Erica Rogers. I'm the policy director for the department. I will be handing it over to our wonderful policy analyst, Alex, to walk us through the rules. Take it away, Alex.
Good morning, everyone. So as Erica mentioned, I'm Alex Vidal, Policy Analyst for Excise and Licenses. I'm going to walk through the presentation and try and answer any questions that might come up. And then we'll receive public comment and move from there. So the agenda for today is we're going to go through an overview of relevant ordinances and current practices. And then I'm going to discuss the proposed rules, so give an overview of each set of proposed rules, and then clarify any outstanding questions. And then again, at the end, we will have time for public comment as well. So the first set of rules are around fee waivers for licenses. Here, the relevant ordinance is the Denver Revised Municipal Code, DRMC section 32-6 in subsection B. It says that waiver of license fees, the director may waive the local licensing fees for licenses granted by the department as provided in rules promulgated by the department. So that is what we are doing today. We are moving forward with a hearing on our proposed rules around fee waivers. Current practice is that EXL waives the annual license fees for nonprofit applicants for childcare and food licenses. And we also waive fees for government agencies, quasi-government entities on a case-by-case basis. So again, our current practice is to waive the annual license fees for nonprofit applicants for specifically childcare establishment and food licenses, food-related licenses. We do this by allowing nonprofit applicants to note in their application that they are applying as a nonprofit. And if it is for one of those license types, childcare establishment or food-related license, then we will request that they submit documentation showing their nonprofit status, and then we'll waive their fees. Government applicants can request a fee waiver, and those are reviewed on a case-by-case basis. What we are proposing to have in a regular rule is for childcare and food licenses that are applied for by a nonprofit or quasi-governmental entity would automatically by default get a fee waiver the same way that we've been doing it now, but they would note that they are nonprofit and provide documentation, or that they are a government entity. We're also proposing providing license fee waivers for identified city partners. Those would include organizations designated by the director, and we would make that list publicly available. We will share that list later in this presentation as well, and provide it on our website as well. And then any license application made by an entity that is responding to an emergency declared by the mayor would also be eligible for a fee waiver. And then we would only be waiving license fees pursuant to the adopted rules, or if it's an ordinance. Here we have our list of identified city partners: the Denver Public Library, Denver Water, Denver Health, Denver Art Museum, Denver Botanic Gardens, Denver Center for the Performing Arts, the Denver Zoo, and the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. So these entities would qualify for license fee waivers for any activities that they're performing in the public interest. And this list may change in the future, but these are the partners that we've identified so far. And these rules would become effective on December 5th after we consider any public comments that may come in by 5 o'clock today. So I'll discuss public comments and how you can still provide comments up until 5 o'clock today. The main takeaways for our proposed rules are that nonprofits and quasi-governmental applicants for childcare establishments would get a default license fee waiver. For food licenses, it would be nonprofit applicants specifically. And then our identified city partner list would also be eligible for fee waivers, and any entity providing a response to an emergency declared by the mayor as well for any license type. If there are any, look to see if there's any in the chat. If you have a question, you can use the raise your hand function and go ahead and we'll allow you to speak so you can ask your question, or you can type it in the chat as well. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move forward with the next set of rules. So these are around the transfer of ownership for licenses. So licenses are issued to a specific person or entity, and some of the licenses we're authorized to allow them to be transferred to another person or entity, and some license types are prohibited from being transferred. So we'll discuss our proposed rules around license transfers. The relevant ordinance here is the Denver Revised Municipal Code, section 32-9, subsection A, which states that unless provided otherwise in this code, the DRMC, or by department rule, no license shall be transferable from one person to another or from one location to another. So our current policies, we allow transfers of ownership for license types authorized by ordinance. We've also adopted emergency rules that allow transfers for specific license types that are not prohibited from being transferred. And then again, restating that ordinance also does prohibit certain licenses from being transferred. So obviously we would not allow those and could not allow those under a rule change either. Currently, under ordinance, we're allowed license types of retail or medical marijuana, retail tobacco, retail food, trailer park, secondhand dealer, automobile parts recycler, and junk dealer are authorized to be transferred by ordinance. Our emergency rules that we are currently operating under are actually the same as our proposed regular rules. And so this list here that you see on the right-hand side is the same list for our current emergency rules. So we are proposing making the rule permanent and normal. And so the license types that would be allowed to be transferred are childcare establishment, food processing, wholesale and warehouse, ice manufacturer, lodging facility, parking lot, repair or service garage, retail food, swimming pool, and valet operator and valet location licenses. So these would be transferable under the permanent rules. The effective date for these rules for transfer of ownership would become effective upon the signature of the city attorney and the director of excise and licenses after we've considered any final public comments made today or submitted by 5 o'clock today. The key takeaways here are that the rules will formalize our current emergency rules for license transfers, and only license transfers that are authorized by ordinance or rules will be allowed moving forward. And again, if there are any questions, I will look to see if there's anything in the chat, or if anyone in attendance would like to raise their hand to ask a question. Okay, seeing none, I will go ahead and move forward. And this is the time where we would welcome public comments. So again, you can, through the Zoom link, you can hand to indicate that you'd like to make a public comment, and we'll promote you to a panelist so that you can speak. And then if you can introduce yourself, and if you represent any stakeholder group or organization or something of that nature, or if you're just representing yourself, just let us know. And then we will be limiting comments to 3 minutes. So I will just pause for a moment to allow time to see if anybody has any questions or public comments um, that they want to make today. I'm not seeing anyone raising their hand or offering verbal public comments at this time. So I will move to our last slide, which is about written public comments. So you can mail comments to our address here, 201 West Colfax, Department 206, care of the policy team. You can email comments to us at licenses@denvergov.org. Please make sure to use the subject line hearing rules public comment, or you can also deliver public comments verbally here today. Any written public comments, mail or email need to be received by, will be accepted until 5 p.m. today. So if it's received by our office by 5 p.m. today, we will be able to consider those and make any necessary adjustments to the rules. And that is the end of the presentation. I will let Erica jump back in to close us out. And thank you so much for listening today about the rules.
Yes, thank you all for joining us. We look forward to providing high level of customer service through the adoption of these rules. And we appreciate any public comments that have been submitted. As Alex mentioned, we will consider any public comments before finalizing the rules. Otherwise, the effective dates described will be the effective dates of each rule set. So everyone have a great day and thank you for joining us.